Hello, everyone.
Hey, bag ladies and bag dudes. I'm Sarah Lawson from So Sweetness. Thanks so much for joining me for Ask Sarah, my weekly Q&A chat. Hey, thanks so much for joining us. I saw everyone on the chat on Facebook and YouTube beforehand, and some people are getting some rainy weather, so sorry about that. Hey to Brenda from Maine, Diane. Let's see who, Doreen. Hi, Doreen from New York. So thank you so much for joining us. So a couple weeks back, I was talking about some struggles I was having with my horseback riding, and I think today something just clicked and everything felt like it was moving in a better direction. So I don't know if you've ever had that happen, maybe with your sewing, but it reminds me of a story from when my son William was little, when we were first trying to teach him his color. So that means when he would see a color, he would know which color that would be. And it seemed like forever I would spend time with him. All right, William, this is what green looks like. This is yellow. This is orange. And then I would ask him the questions again. All right, what's this color? And he'd be like, red? What's this color? Blue? So he didn't really understand the colors until one day all of a sudden he did. And then I would ask him the colors and he'd get every single one right. And today with horseback riding, it sort of felt like that. Like all of a sudden I just got...
Problem. People are saying the sound sounds messed up.
Oh. Do you need to get over to the computer, or should I keep talking, or... Sorry, we're having some technical difficulties.
This sounds different, yeah.
Let us know in the comments if our sound sounds okay, or if not, if it's not okay, Danny's gonna jump over and fix it.
Here. Why don't you talk about the pick of the week real fast?
Okay. The pick of the week is from the Facebook group, Teresa C. And Teresa made all three sizes of the Kismet trinket boxes, and I love the fabrics that she used over here. And also the photo looks great too, like the styling with the zippers. I think that's really neat. So great job posting these and making these projects. So thanks so much for posting them in the Facebook group. And we always love seeing all the photos come through from all the bag ladies and bag dudes. So thanks so much for posting. And congratulations, Teresa, for making a successful project. Well, 3 projects. So great job. Great sewing job. What do you think, Danny? Is everything okay?
No, you definitely sound...
Voices don't sound good.
Yeah, you sound...
Sounds like Minnie...
Alvin the Chipmunks.
Someone says sounds like Minnie Mouse.
Yep.
Sorry, we're going to try to get this fixed. Do you want to put the technical difficulties on the screen, maybe, or...
You can keep talking.
Oh, but I sound like Minnie Mouse. Okay, so I've been working on this quilt over the weekend. It was the spinning rail fence quilt from Shabby Fabrics. I purchased this pattern. They do sell the kits as well, but I just bought the pattern by itself since I have plenty of Tula Pink fabric. So I'm just going to show you the quilt that I made. I just have to add the borders, and then it's finished. Let me hold this up. Let me see what's the right way.
We might want to reload it real quick.
Do you want to restart the show? Is that what you're talking about?
No, we'll just reload it may take a brief pause for everyone.
Okay.
So, you want to say?
We're going to reload the show, so it'll just be a couple seconds of a delay, I guess. Okay. Sorry about that, guys.
Wait, stop. No.
Yeah? Okay.
Does it sound good for everyone?
All right. I hope I sound okay to everyone. I guess I should start the show over since I saw in the comments people were saying that I sounded like Minnie Mouse, so sorry about that. What I was saying at the beginning of the chat was...
Across real quick.
Okay, Danny's... All right, so Danny's pick of the week was by Teresa C. She posted this photo in the Facebook group. Do you want to say what you liked about this project?
I love it almost looks like our logo, the background. You know, if you notice the circle with the pink, I forget what it's called. Cathedral
windows, yeah.
Yeah. I thought it looked great. Great colors, nice finish, great picture.
And I like the styling in the photo. So the zippers coming out of the lid of one of the cases. I love the fabric choices. And Teresa did a really great job. So great job. Thanks so much for sharing your photo in the Facebook group. And we love seeing all the finishes from So Sweetness Patterns coming in the group. So keep posting your photos. We love to see them. Sorry about that technical issue earlier. What I was saying at the beginning of the chat was if you've been around for a little while, a couple weeks ago I mentioned I was having some struggles with my horseback riding. I go every Tuesdays during the day. Danny usually comes with me for horseback riding, and I sort of was struggling with a certain issue, and all of a sudden today I just felt like I got it. Like I understood what was going on. I understood what my problem was, and I feel like I understand the horse a little better as well. And it reminded me of something that happened when my son William was smaller. So when we were trying to teach William his colors, I would point to different colors. All right, this is green, this is yellow, this is orange. And then I would ask him the colors again. All right, what's this color? And he'd be like, red. What's this color? Blue. So something wasn't connecting with him until all of a sudden one day suddenly it was. And I would ask him what his colors were, and he knew every single one. So I don't know if you've ever encountered something that was like that with sewing, but I felt like with the horseback riding, all of a sudden, today I sort of got it. And that doesn't mean that I'm, I'm expert in this issue or anything like that, but maybe it's just one of those things. I just have to keep doing it until all of a sudden I understand. And maybe it's like that with sewing sometimes as well. Certain techniques, it's hard for me to wrap my head around, but, just plow through and give the technique a try, and then all of a sudden it makes sense and it's a lot of fun. So I'm glad I stuck with it.
I love all these Minnie Mouse comments. As I was putting up there, it's like nothing wrong with sound like Minnie Mouse.
Are we going to edit that out, or are we going to leave that in there?
No, you can't. It's live. All that's the original start of the show is going to be there. The first part.
Sorry about that.
So I think this is going to have terrible views. People are going to watch like, man, this sounds terrible. Let's turn it off. Hopefully come back.
Oh, thanks for sticking with us through that, though.
That's why I was smiling, because I was reading these great comments.
So obviously you guys are all bag ladies and bag dudes for sticking with us through those technical difficulties. Let us know in the comments if you are. This is Danny's favorite part of the show.
That challenge out there.
Just type a little I'm a bag lady or bag dude in the comments. And
that just shows that we're live, so it's not like a recorded content.
Yeah.
When you do have live videos, I watch other people all the time. Stuff happens, and I'm not sure what caused that, because it wasn't a setting. I had to reload it's like most problems with computer or any electronic equipment. I'll give you guys free advice. Restarting that electronic device has the best results of fixing most problems. So you have a problem, restart it. So just like that, I restarted the software and it worked. So who knows what the problem was, but appreciate you guys sticking around.
And we are prepared at any time if something goes wrong to take out the cell phones and continue on live from there. Yep. We wouldn't be able to continue on live with YouTube, but for sure we'd keep going with Facebook. Things happen, and we're not about to
roll with the punches.
Yeah, we're not about to give up and go home or go to bed, whatever you want to call it. So we already shared the pick of the week. Before we had the technical difficulties, I was about to show the quilt that I was working on. So again, I was working on this spinning rails quilt pattern from Shabby Fabrics. I purchased this pattern and it came Saturday. So Saturday night, I started cutting out the strips for the quilt.
It's like a mad lady. She saw the fabric was flying left and right. It was like, what the heck? It was a tornado came through the room or something. Just saw our living room floor was loaded with material. And I'm not going to lie. Once she had the top laid out, it wasn't sewn yet. I did walk on it. I think just to be like, oh, look at me, Violet. Look what I just did to Mom. But no, it was amazing how fast she turned this thing around.
Well, it was all strips, and when I hold up the quilt, you might think, oh, I see some triangles in there, but literally it was all cutting strips, sewing strips together. So like 21-inch long strips, 3 sets, 3 strips sewn together, and then through the magic of cutting and a really well written pattern, everything came together, and I had so much fun making it. And I think part of it was the fact that it came together so quickly. So I spent, I think on Sunday morning, maybe like 4 hours, mostly before everyone woke up on Sunday morning. I started piecing my blocks together. I think I got all the blocks done before we went to a barbecue on Sunday afternoon. And then yesterday, when we got home from swimming, I started putting all my sashing together with the blocks. So I just have to piece the borders, and the quilt top is done. So I admit I'm going to be lazy and send it off to a long arm quilter, but I wanted to show you the quilt top minus the borders, or at least what we can show you. So it's like a rainbow quilt.
Just start at the bottom and pull it up.
Okay. Danny says to pull up the quilt.
And you can start seeing as it goes up.
So there's purple on the bottom corner that Danny's holding. So see what I meant about the triangles? It kind of looks like there's triangles in this quilt, but there's really not. It's like all strips, and I really like the big polka dot squares because it would be great for large scale prints as well. And the finished quilt is, let me see what the finished size of the quilt, 64 by 77.5, so a good sized quilt. And there's actually bonus projects I know this is far away, but I really bought this pattern because I loved that mini quilt bonus project. And to make the bonus projects, the mini quilt and the pillow, you just use the scraps from cutting from making the quilt. So I don't have to cut or piece extra things. It's all the scraps from making the quilt. So again, I had a lot of fun making it. I would definitely make it again, but I like especially all the bright colors. The fabrics are Tula Pink All Stars and then also Tula Pink Solids. There's a little bit of solid in here, just a hint of it, and in the sashing, there's Tula Pink Solids as well, in these like little corner squares, I guess, if you want to call it that.
Just to clarify, did everyone hear that correctly? You made this big quilt top for the scraps so you can make the little mini quilt. Is that what you said?
That is kind of what I
just don't know if I
said.
heard that right.
Yeah, the mini, I loved the mini quilt. It's only 39 inches square, but I super loved the mini quilt. I don't know if that sounds weird, but.
Not to me.
But we have a nice big quilt, a new quilt that we can use.
Yeah, I like it. I like it better than a lot of the quilts we've made so far. It's a really nice looking quilt.
Are you saying you don't like the quilts that I made, or are you just saying you like this one just a little better?
I would say yeah. Safe answer, I think.
All right, so let
Did
us
you start with fat quarters, jelly rolls, layer cakes? Sandy wants to know with this.
Oh, okay. Actually, a lot of the cuts in the quilt are either fat quarters or half yards. There's a few bigger pieces, but actually, all of these prints were only, even though the pattern called for fat quarters, like the prints were all, you needed 2 strips that were each 21 inches by 2.5 inches. So I guess that would be great for a jelly roll for these strips. Obviously, you can't, for the big squares, you can't, that's not for a jelly roll, but the rest of the quilt, yeah, you can make it with a jelly roll. So
no, it's a really nice quilt. I feel like the guy from Home Improvement, the neighbor who looks on the fence.
Yeah.
No, I was surprised how nice. Sometimes the quilts Sarah makes, I don't necessarily agree with all the fabrics or the stuff, and she makes a lot, so there's good and bad in between. But this one I really do like a lot.
Yeah, it's fun. All right, so if you have any questions for me, let me know in the comments, either sewing related questions, bag making questions. If you have a question about a certain tool, just post your question in the comments and we'll answer some, or I'll answer some live. What are you laughing about?
There's a lot of people that said, good answer, Danny. Nice backtracking, Danny. Watch out, Danny. Danger zone. Way to go, Danny.
I like that danger zone one. You should put that up on the screen.
Someone else said something funny. Danny likes it much better than the yellow quilt. True. And that was an orange. I don't mind yellows, but it was mostly, it has had this orange.
Good memory.
Yeah,
good memory.
Sure. I'll give him credit for that since it's a good one. I went too quick. A lot of people were commenting.
Oh, okay.
Linda, I also love this quilt. It's a good one. I don't see any questions yet. A lot of nice comments.
Someone says, hope you had a great birthday, Danny.
Here's a news flash. It's tomorrow. So we'll see how good my birthday is going to be. I was born Memorial Day, the original observed Memorial Day, for the switch to like the fourth Monday of each month. So I think I'll have a good day tomorrow. We had a great weekend.
I think it's funny because your friends usually wish you a happy birthday on a different day.
Well, on Facebook, I don't like to use my real birthday information. I don't like to put real information for whatever reason on Facebook or social media, so I use a default May 1st birthday. So even family members will say, hey, happy birthday on May 1st, and I'm like, oh, thanks for the kind birthday wishes. And one of my friends, his name's Nate, he'll be like, happy fake Facebook birthday or something like that, and people don't pick up on it, or happy fake social media birthday or something like that. But it's probably my birthday, I'm sure. I'm taking off work. My boss does not know yet.
The orders still have to go out even though it's your birthday.
It just means I'm taking off work. I didn't say everyone's taking off.
Oh, okay.
So,
I get it. I
got some embroidery machine shirts to be printing out, 3D printer parts to be printing out tomorrow. It's going to be a really productive day. Not in the sweetness business world, but in the Danny fun world.
Okay, I see a few questions. How about this question from Lisa?
Sure.
Lisa wants to know, when's your Instagram live? So we go live on Instagram on Tuesday right before this live chat, and that would be at 6:30 p.m. Central Time on Instagram Live. But you can see the recording of any Instagram lives for up to 24 hours after the chat ends. So until I guess tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Central Time, you can see the Instagram live chat, and it'll be on Instagram. Unfortunately, Instagram takes the lives away after 24 hours. I'm not sure why they do that. I think it would be cool if they left it up a little longer, but I'm sure they have their reasons. Kaylee says, on the Cumberland backpack, would it be pretty simple to add a little gusset to the front zipper pocket rather than sewing the zipper to the front of the bag? Front zipper pocket. I'm not sure. Feel free to email me. Sometimes I get a question on when we're doing the live chat, and it's a question that I need to think through more thoroughly. Like
certain things you can, right away, but more complicated. You don't want to say the wrong thing. That person does the wrong thing. You're like, oh, crap, why did I say that?
Sometimes I just need to think of my answer first. And so feel free to email me after the chat. My email is sarah@sosweetness.com. That's Sarah with no H. And I'm happy to help you answer that. I just don't want to...
Thank you, Connie. I appreciate that.
Give an incorrect answer, or sometimes I just don't understand fully where your brainwave is going. So... let's see. Terry says, I bought the olive green cork. Can you suggest another color to go with it? I think maybe like the natural color cork or the fawn color, which is also a natural color, would look nice with that. Maybe brown. What do you think with the dark green cork? Good match with that.
The fennel is a nice match.
Oh,
for
yeah.
the
The green fennel might look nice too. Yeah, that's a good suggestion. Patty says, I want to make a bag for my 9-year-old granddaughter. Which of your patterns would you recommend? Not too big a bag, please. Actually, Violet's been using... Do you want to get up and see her brown bag on the couch? And also pull that purple bag over there?
I don't see her brown bag.
If you go over to the couch, you'll see it. Danny's going to pull the 2 bags that Violet's using now. Violet is 9.
Hyacinth?
Yeah, the hyacinth bag. This purple bag right over here. Come in here. That purple bag right there in the door.
There's one.
Thank you. Okay, so this is the bag Violet's been using. As you can see, she added her little stitch keychain on there. My friend Tiffany made this for Violet. Do you want to maybe move the question?
Absolutely.
Okay. So this is the hyacinth bag. Videos available for this pattern too. So this is what Violet's using right now. And she also likes to use the Baker Street bag, which is a free pattern and video. So these are Violet's most recent personal bags, and Violet's 9. So these are the ones she likes to use. Right here. That's the Baker Street. To find either of those, you can go to my website. Also, because the Baker Street's a free video, that'll be on YouTube as well. Christine says, Sarah, is there a certain brand or make you like better when buying ribbon for your bags?
Renaissance ribbons.
Good answer. I'm trying to see if I have any Renaissance ribbons around here anywhere. I know I do.
You should have in your filigree.
Yes, right. Good call. The filigree has, these are some Renaissance ribbons on the front of the filigree. I also have a ton of Renaissance ribbons in Tula Pink designs. I'm trying to think where they are in the sewing room. I don't know. I don't want to search too long for them. I'm just not sure.
On to the next one.
I'll pull them out. Maybe I'll show them on the Sunday show.
Well, they just want to know the brand. They'd have to, when they look it up on, they can see it.
I'm rolling over the quilt up with my chair.
I thought it was me.
No.
Glad it was not me. I'll hear it later. Oh, it's stuck on something.
Monica says, hi, Sarah and Danny. I would like to buy in bulk. What other shape flex and foam is good to use besides what you list on your pattern? Pellon Shape Flex, that comes by the bolt. Also, Woven Fuse, you can buy that from the website gotinterfacing.com. Barber owns gotinterfacing.com. As far as foam interfacing, Pellon Flex Foam, you can buy that by the bolt, especially if you're in the U.S. at Joann's, or I like using Bianni Soft and Stable. I usually buy that by the roll as well, but they sell it in packages also. Gwenna says, what kind of embroidery machine did you get? We got the Brother Innovis 1600. Do you remember the letters that came after 1600?
No, I don't want to. I think FE, something
NP.
like that.
Yeah.
VE.
We'll show it on the
WXYZ.
we'll show it on the video when we unbox it. But it was just a single needle. We decided to go with the single needle. I know Danny really wanted the 6 needle or 10 needle.
Yes.
It was just a little bit, my comfort level with the price range of those 6 needle or 10 needle machines. I was just not super comfortable with the price, even though I know a lot of people recommended that you should purchase the most you can afford just so you don't have to trade up ever. I just, like, I don't know, $8,000 or $16,000 just
yeah, it's a big pill to swallow.
Made my stomach a little queasy, so we decided to go with the Brother Innovis 1600, and it was a little less than $2,000, so little
It was like
bit.
a moment of clarity. Sarah's like, all right, I decided on this embroidery. I'm like, really? She's like, she was actually looking at the 1400, and when we were doing research, we found out the new one just came out, and it's the 1600, whatever letters after it.
And the shop that we purchased it from is offering a free class, but we haven't been able to schedule that yet. So that should be interesting to take the class and have some hands-on learning as far as that goes.
Yeah, thank you everyone for the birthday wishes. I do appreciate it.
Oh, there's another question. I'm sorry. I just kept talking like there wasn't another question on the screen. Sally says, Sarah, do you know if marine vinyl is any thicker than the vinyl you use for purses? I'm going to redo the boat interior and hoping to get a bag out of my leftovers. I do see people often make bags with marine vinyl. It is thicker than the vinyl that I sell in my shop. I don't know the exact thickness. I know the one that I sell is 0.06 millimeters. I'm not sure the exact thickness of their marine vinyl, but it is thicker. But it is doable for a bag as long as your machine is trusty as far as bag making goes.
Here's a comment. Someone says they never hear us from their Facebook on their cell, and their cell's new. You, by default, sound is on mute. So if you look at through your feed through your phone, there should be a little, I don't know if it looks like a microphone or a little tower, and if it's on mute, you'll see an X instead of that. So see if you have a little white X somewhere on the screen, you want to click that. It's usually in the bottom right corner. I'm not sure because I don't have my phone in front of me to check the feed, but I would look around if it's muted. It's muted by default, so if you don't turn it on, that's why you probably don't hear.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I wonder why they mute
I think
phones
so.
by
When
default.
you're watching through your Facebook feed and you have a live video playing, it doesn't want to just play. It'll play the video, but it won't give you the sound because it's gonna be
startling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All that. Innovis 1500. Maybe there's a D at the end of it.
Oh, that's a good question. AJ was asking, where do you get soft and stable by the bolt? So I purchased mine wholesale just because
It's available to you.
it's available to me wholesale because we sell things on the website and we purchase wholesale. I believe you can still buy Annie's Soft and Stable by the Bolt retail, and that would be at buyannie.com. They sell the rolls as well as the packages. But if you sew things to sell, like at craft fairs or online, you technically should be able to sign up for a wholesale account. So if that applies to you, you might consider doing that to save a little bit of money on your supplies if you're making things to sell. Anita says, can I use fusible fleece on the Oreo bag? My thin interfacing seems wimpy. You sure can. The bag won't be as, not stiff, as structured as the foam interfacing, but you can use fusible fleece. And I actually think I do remember seeing several people using the fusible fleece on the Oreo bag, or even fusible thermolam, which is also a fleece product. It's just a little slightly thicker than the fusible fleece. So either of those would be okay. Let's see. Diane says, about the Cumberland backpack, I have a hard time sewing the front pocket piece with the zipper to the front pattern piece itself. If I sew it using the markings for the zipper placement, my front pocket and front pattern piece do not meet at the bottom. Any suggestions? So when I sewed mine, I don't have a Cumberland backpack handy to grab. There's one by the front door. I don't know if you want to grab it or not. It's up to you.
All this hard work.
But the front of the Cumberland backpack has a zipper, and when I made mine, I transferred the markings for the placement of that front pocket using a chalk, and then I pinned the heck out of it. So I probably had maybe 10 or 12 traditional pins, not wonder clips, holding the zipper in place, and that's how I sewed it in place. I'm not sure if that's what you did, but this is the original Cumberland backpack. It comes in two different sizes, but this is the small. And Danny's going to move the question on the screen. So this is Violet's. I made these when we went to Disney for the first time. Like I said, this is the size small. There's a bigger one. But this was the question, was about the zipper in the front. So that's what I did. If you feel like you need help further than that, feel free to email me, and I'm happy to help. But this was the zipper pocket that she was talking about, I believe. And Violet doesn't have anything really in there right now. Yeah, the kids have had these backpacks. How many years since we first went to Disney?
It's 3 years, is it?
Yeah, the kids still use these. I made William one out of Donkey Kong fabric, and he loves it.
They're great. They're small, so if you fill them up with stuff, they're not
Yeah.
too heavy for the kids to carry. You can put a decent amount of stuff, water bottles,
I even like
jackets.
carrying them.
I think we had 3 of them, didn't we, when we were walking around?
Yeah, we did. Yep.
Soon you'll see a So Sweetness. Maybe not this shirt, because I have a nice black polo shirt that's gonna have a nice Probably I think I'm gonna do like just like our colors. I like either that purplish plum color or maybe like a turquoise teal. Yeah. So Sweetness, Chief Geek, I think I'm gonna go with. If you guys have a better choice of words. So there's like I'm not gonna do something like that, but you know what? I'm totally gonna own up to it. I'll even wear it outside of work because I'll be proud of it. I'm very proud of our business. You know, it helped me quit my other job and work from home with Sarah, which has its ups and downs because she's very bossy. But I mean, besides that, it's been great. I mean, honestly, I love it. I love the interaction we have with our customers. It's funny. I see the comments because I'm constantly going through them, and I see the same people when I see their orders. I'll see their names, like, oh, I know that person. I've recognized that person. Or even in the Facebook group, I'll see names and recognize people, and it's like you guys are friends and family. It really is, because I'd see you make a project, or someone who will start with one project, go to the next project, go to the next project, and just it's amazing how fast. Besides, Sarah's very fast at sewing, but other people. Man, I'll see 4 Oreo bags I think someone made recently over a weekend or something like that, or just a lot of you guys so fast, and it's pretty amazing because I see how hard it is. It's pretty cool watching it. You know, I enjoy it.
Yeah, I saw somebody made their 10th Oreo bag. Can you believe that? Wow.
I saw one lady had one picture of, I can't think of her name, 4 Oreo bags, then another 4 Oreo bags.
That's the one I was thinking of, I think. Yeah. And I think working together has helped our relationship. Wouldn't you say that? Do you have anything to say about that, or?
I guess I thought it's two perspectives. I always thought we had a great relationship, but Sarah maybe not think as much.
No,
as
but don't
was.
you think it was great before? But don't you think it's better now?
Yeah, we have people say, hey, how do you guys work together? You know, it's hard enough just to while I'm at work, I come home, I can do my wife then. How do you deal with her all day and stuff like that? I'm like, well, we get along. So I mean, we go out to lunch together. We just do stuff together, and I enjoy. Even when Sarah goes horseback riding, I'll go with and watch, and then we'll go out to lunch afterwards or something like that. You know. It's fun. I enjoy being around Sarah. Besides her yelling at me all the time. But, you know, she's a great person.
Thank you.
Let's see. We are very proud of our business. We were just talking about this the other day. Yeah, it's just amazing how, you know, it's doing so well.
Let's see.
Oh, you know what? We're talking about that. We should do a nice share. It's a great transition to...
Oh, I did write it on my list. Sorry, Danny.
We'll do it right there.
So if you enjoy our live chats, if you're watching on Facebook, we invite you to hit the share button right now and share this video with your other sewing friends, or at the very least, either on YouTube or Facebook, if you wouldn't mind hitting the like button, which is the little thumbs up icon. It helps us out so much because Facebook loves...
YouTube, they have an algorithm, it's called, which is a crazy math.
Let's not get too
It's
technical.
a crazy math complex thing. The more people like, share, comment, whatever, if you do any interaction with it, that helps because it spreads it out to people. If you're on YouTube, it'll be like a recommended video next in a playlist. If you're on Facebook, even though we have a lot of followers on Facebook, a small percentage only sees the video if you've not liked it, shared it, or interacted with it.
It just helps us because Facebook and YouTube will look on us favorably and potentially share our video with brand new people. So we always like having new people join on the chats. It's a lot of fun, and I get emails all the time from people who said that they are watching the videos for the first time. So I love to see that as well. That's pretty fun. Any other questions mostly?
Yeah, no, there's a good question.
Okay.
It's funny. We used to fill the orders of the fabric they've ordered, but Sarah on Saturdays fills orders. I mean, she wants them out.
So if you're ordering from us on, like, say, Friday night or early Saturday morning, like, I'm the one that is personally packing your order. So, like, fingers crossed I don't mess it up. But, yeah, Saturday mornings, I fill the orders because our employee only works Monday through Friday. And I'd rather not have the orders sit there all weekend. So I do the orders personally by myself Saturday morning. I even print the shipping labels Saturday morning because Danny's usually sleeping in a little bit. So. Yep,
Friday's night my gaming night.
Yeah.
Just like every other night of the week that ends in Y. That one I stays a little later.
There's nothing in this business that I don't personally do or I have not personally done before. Like orders, like I'm not above doing any of that stuff. I do orders. I'm happy to do anything.
Yep, cut cork. Yeah. But sometimes we get a lot of orders for the weekend, and we have cork club coming out, so we have to. Our employee focus on cutting cork or that stuff. Sarah and I have gone downstairs. That's where our basement, our dungeon is for the work. But we've gone packed orders. I mean, we could do it for a couple hours even. When you work together, it goes a lot faster. And I I've did the order such a long time, and I really liked working with someone else because it makes time go quicker. And Sarah works fast, so it makes you keep up with her, and it just makes it help a little bit.
Diane has a great question. When is your business anniversary? So I designed my very first pattern for sale in January of 2013. So that's when the first pattern was sold. However, I started my blog in September 2010, and when I started my blog, I was really learning to sew as an adult. So like the extent of my skills was I was sewing burp cloths, which was just a rectangle, 2 pieces of fabric sewn right sides together and turned. That was what I was sewing when I started my blog. So the reason I started the blog was I had a friend who had what's called a linky party every Friday. You would post a photo of what you sewed that week on Friday morning, and so I started my blog so I had somewhere to put the pictures, and I was really excited to finish a project every Friday, but I wasn't super good at sewing. I didn't know how to quilt back then, and from September 2010 to January 2013, I looked at a lot of PDF patterns online, free patterns. I bought patterns on Etsy, and I just kept making stuff. So the only way to get better is to just keep doing it. And
look what it turned out to.
Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah.
Our video anniversary is June. I think our first video.
June 11th. Yeah.
Yep. So we're coming up on that for the video. So Sweetness videos. Here's a comment for you.
Harriet says, how do I find the bag bundles on the website? So if you're looking for, I don't know if you're looking for the Minikins bundle. If you go to sewsweetness.com and click on, there's a big graphic for online workshops. The Minikins are there, as well as any of the videos we've produced already. Or if you're just looking for a sewing pattern by itself, you can click on the sewing pattern link. I saw someone had a question about advice about starting a business.
It's a better business to be on YouTube or Facebook. I'll look for it while you answer this one.
Oh, sorry.
So it passed by a little while ago?
Carol said, I would love a pattern for a little bag for the gym, not a gym bag, just to hold phone, credit card, parking pass, earphones, and car keys. That's a great idea. I need something like that for when I go horseback riding as well, because if Danny doesn't come with me, then I need to take my keys in there somehow, but I'm not going to take my purse because I don't want to leave my purse in the stable. I will work on that, an idea for like a really small bag.
Carry phone, cards around your neck securely. There's another person wants.
I go to a lot of concerts. I'm wondering if you guys will make a little bag to carry your phone and cards around your neck securely. Oh, that's a great idea too. I'm going to write that down. Like a little, not like for a lanyard, but I know what you mean. Like something a little bit bigger than just for like a name tag, so you can put a few extra things in there. That's a great idea. Oh, that's a great idea for the 12 patterns. I'm working on 12 patterns, and I needed like one more idea. I'm going to write that down because that sounds cool.
I don't see one about the business. I see the business anniversary.
Teresa says, I'm new to your page, love it. I already asked this, but really curious about where to get the beautiful fabrics. So I love buying fabrics online just because, as I mentioned before, I'm kind of lazy and like, I like supporting local quilt shops, but sometimes I just don't want to leave the house. So some of my favorite online shops are Stash Fabrics, Fat Quarter Shop, Hawthorne Threads. I know I'm missing a ton of other shops that are really great, but those are 3 great places to start. And again, that's Stash Fabrics, so stashfabrics.com, fatquartershop.com, or hawthornethreads.com. They have a big selection. Quilt Home is also great, quilthome.com.
We'll be selling it shortly.
Debbie says, what is an alternative to veering on zippers like the airplane bag and the cotton candy pouch? So the reason sometimes I veer a zipper off the edge of the fabric is so that you don't see exposed zipper tape in the finished project. So zipper tabs are fine, but sometimes you need to adjust the construction of the bag. So that might be the case for those patterns. I don't want to get too technical because for a live show, but if you want to email me, I'm happy to help you further via email. Donna says we should have a remote party, send out little martini, canned derby bottles, twinkle cakes, all do mass opening, just a thought. Oh, that's a fun idea.
I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be really fun, especially for like Instagram Live where we can do the split screen. That would be cool. That'd be really cool.
Oh, here's it.
Deanna says, here you go, Danny. I asked earlier, was it daunting starting the business? How did you go about researching how to run the business? There's a great organization and website called Craft Industry Alliance, and they have a website and tons of resources there. Again, that's called Craft Industry Alliance, and it's all craft related things, so not just sewing patterns, but also knitting, designing fabric, all sorts of stuff, anything creative. But they have webinars monthly with professionals that would be helpful to small businesses, such as lawyers, experts in social media, all sorts of different experts doing the webinars and teaching like a 1-hour class online where you can see them, you can see their presentation on the computer. Was it daunting starting a business? No, because we started slowly, and I like to use the term bootstrapping. So what bootstrapping means is you're only spending money on things or venturing out in the business that you have the money to pay for it. So we don't pay for anything on credit. We only do things, and this has been since the start of the business, we only do things that we can afford to pay for. So before I started the business, I worked at pet stores for 14 years. At one time I was working full time, but after I had the kids, I only worked on the weekends. So I only worked Saturdays and Sundays every single week. My paycheck for a whole month of working 8 days a month was $600. So when we first started the business, when I first started selling patterns in January of 2013, I did that for a year while still working in retail. And the day that I decided to quit was when I could consistently show that each month I was making more selling patterns than I was making in retail. And it wasn't super hard since I was in retail. I was only making $600 a month. So I remember talking it over with Danny, and it was kind of scary because
I actually told her she should quit her job. We didn't talk about it. I mentioned.
Well, we did talk. I remember talking about it.
I brought up, like, Sarah, you know what? I think you're doing pretty well. The job doesn't bring a lot into it, and it'd be great for you to focus on that, because I saw she was doing really well, and some of the stuff early on I didn't think were great business ideas, or I'm like, why would you do it like this, or why would you partner with this, what's the benefit, or, you know, I always look at like what's the benefit versus, and not knowing, because I'm not coming from a business and of different stuff, but I saw the stuff she did were the right moves. You know, you don't always get profit in terms of money, but you may get it in other terms, such as people come to know you as a person. Like Sarah was known for doing interfacing. She did a class with Craftsy. She did free Pellon tutorials. She was in magazines, you know, doing for free or next to free patterns for when someone asked her, hey, can you do this for me? Sarah would be like, no problem, I gotcha. Or if someone wants something for Quilt Market or any of these things, Sarah was not a person. She was always a yes person. Someone needs something, Sarah would do it. And it was great because it helped grow the business. It really did. It got her out there. And it was the right moves. Even though I questioned them at times, they were the right decisions.
And, you know, if you've seen any of my videos before, my instructional videos, when I say at the end of the video, if I can do it, so can you, I totally mean that. Especially when I was making $600 a month in retail, and then somehow I turned this sewing thing into a business. Like, I totally believe, like, if I can do it, so can you, because I didn't go to school for business or anything special. And
I made that punchline, by the way. If I can do it, so can you. I thought that one.
Someone asked about what your job was before.
You know, we actually had like 5 people mention about that veering off of the zippers.
Okay.
They'd want a close-in shot of, if possible.
Okay.
More in-depth detail of that.
We can make that happen.
My last 2 jobs, I worked for clinical skills evaluation. Doctors graduate medical school. They have to be certified by National Board of Medical Examiners before they get into their to the hospital they choose to go to. That was one job. And I also worked for Transportation Security Administration, TSA, place everyone loves to hate. I hated it too, so I agree with you guys. It just wasn't for me. You know, I thought it might be an interesting field to get into, but it wasn't. But
what was the hard part about that?
It's just a tough job. You know, everyone hates you. You hate your job because you're in a position, you don't get rotated. It's the other employees. You know, the passengers are upset because you're shuttled from one place to the next place. Everything's running slow. You want to get through. Now we want to get you through, but certain people would walk off, not do their jobs. You work for 2 people, or you have to repeat something a million times, like get your water out of the bag. And if they leave like a water in the bag, they have to go through another procedure, or if someone comes through and they're randomly selected to get their hands tested, or they have to get a pat down. No, trust us, not one person at TSA, I would not say not one, but probably 99.9% of people do not want to get pat downs. They are forced into it by protocol, and doing those are not fun, and it's just awkward. It's a thankless job. No one ever says, "Oh, thank you for what you do," or "Really appreciate your job." So it just wasn't working out,
I could see that. I always thought it was funny when you would tell me stories of the different foods or things people would try to bring.
Oh yeah.
In their suitcases, like.
International travelers love to bring, you name whatever kind of food, spice you could think of, and that looks maybe something suspect, and they'll get a bag check for it, and this bag will be like this bag filled completely to the max and could barely zip, and then you got to take everything out of this bag, test the bag out, and then when you want to put the stuff back, they're like, make sure you put it back the way it was. There's 1,000 items there. How can you remember where this was, this, that, and this? You try to do your best, but a lot of people have brought Portillo's through. That's a Chicago deal. Luminati's Pizza,
Trader Joe's
cookie butter. You can bring certain items, but liquids, gels, aerosols. So cookie butter would be in that category, so would not be able to go through. People like, well, you could just go eat it then yourself. And I'm like, I'm not eating something you're bringing into this airport. Who knows where? I don't know if it's sealed, not or in between. Or sodas are a big thing. You're taking my soda away from me. I'm like, I'm not taking anything. You could either go out there and drink it, or we're going to toss it in the garbage. It's up to you, but it's not going to be able to go through the checkpoint.
I see you're starting to get stressed out just remembering.
No, I don't really get stressed out too often, so I'm more mellow. I just get angry. Why are you touching the screen?
I don't know, because it... let's see. Any other questions coming through?
Sarah, I think they like your hair like this. Do you like it better wavy or flat for Sarah? I know a lot of people from Instagram said.
This is what my natural hair looks like when I don't do anything to it, so... I just felt in the mood today. I had my riding lesson, and I get all sweaty under my helmet, so I was too lazy to blow dry my hair, so this is what I came up with. Linda says, I own the same Juki and have been asked to sew boat cushions using marine vinyl. Will the Juki handle that? I'm sure it will. I haven't sewn boat cushions, but there's nothing that I put through the Juki where it was like, oh, I can't do this. So I think it would be able to.
I see a lot of comments.
Okay. Well, that's nice. Thank you for all the nice comments. I know we can't post everything on the screen, but we sure do appreciate it.
Kim, I tell everyone, retail jobs are so difficult. Honestly, because you're working weekends, you're working nights, and unless you're lucky to get a set schedule or maybe a Monday through Friday, they're definitely challenging. Sarah worked retail for a long time. I worked at a pet store before these other jobs when I was one of my first jobs, and they're difficult. It's hard when your friends are going on vacation or doing whatever, you're stuck behind.
I know I'm really quiet, but if I was a little more brave, I do sometimes, if we go out to a restaurant and we get really good service, but I always ask to talk to the manager, tell them our wait staff did a good job, or I think it's a good habit to be, and I know my friend Kim does this as well, when you go out somewhere and someone's nice to you or they're wearing a nice outfit, just to pay them a compliment. I think that's really cool, especially when you go out to the retail stores like Target or something.
Yeah. So, cool. We go to a restaurant and they'll have someone playing music. Sarah, I've learned, always tips the person because, they're not making a lot of money. So I follow that lead. And if we're going to a restaurant, we always tip 20%, even if the service is terrible, because you know what? If they're having a bad day, you don't know what's going on, here and there. And, they work hard for their money. And, they don't make a lot.
I heard a story once that, just try to think, if somebody's not acting as nice as you would like, especially if they're serving you at a restaurant, just try to imagine that this is the worst day of their life. They got some terrible news and maybe they're just having a bad day. Maybe they're not. Maybe they're just a mean person. But if you try to think that maybe they're just having the worst day of their life and just try to, cut them a little slack and be nice to them, even if they're not the nicest to you. That's how I try to think, at least. Oh, thank you, Melissa. Melissa says, love the hair. Yours too, Danny. I saw Amy. Post Amy's question next after that one.
Okay. You
did already? Oh, sorry. Deb says, how did you come up with the name So Sweetness?
Sarah, to interject real quick. Sarah she likes to dream off. You'll be talking to her and all of a sudden she's not listening to you. I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I think she's thinking about what's the next project or something going on. She gets distracted by these ideas that just come out of nowhere real quick. So when we're doing these shows, sometimes I see she gets off in a tangent, and the question will be there, and sometimes you hear a click. That's me like, Sarah, look at the screen real fast.
Deb says, how did you come up with the name So Sweetness? So when I was in high school, and I guess still today, one of my favorite bands is called Jimmy Eat World. They have a song called Sweetness, and when I was in high school, I had this little purple or pink 7-inch record with the song on it, so Sweetness. So I just put the name So in front of it, So Sweetness. That's how I got the name. Amy says, have you ever been asked if you are going to design any wallets? I'm new here, so I may have missed it. So I'm working on a brand new set of 12 patterns and videos, and I think 2 of them, maybe 3 will be wallets, like different wallets, obviously not the same ones. So kind of excited about that. Karen says squirrel, yeah.
The movie Up.
Oh, yeah,
the dog
right.
with the collar.
Squirrel.
He's like, squirrel.
Squirrel.
He's distracted real quick.
Yeah, that's me. That's me, definitely. All right. I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 more questions/comments on the screen?
Sure, I'll just make sure I didn't miss one from further on.
We promised the kids we'd take them out for ice cream after the show, so I know they're upstairs waiting for ice cream. Cindy says, I just made my second hyacinth bag. I can never get the different pieces in the right spots, so I got lining and exterior mixed. Each piece got both, so my bags are definitely one of a kind. I feel like a lot of the times no one else will know but you. Like sometimes I make mistakes all the time on bags. Still, there's parts of the bags where I'd rather people not know or look at too closely because I made a mistake, and most of the time no one else will notice but you. Do you think that's true? I think that's true.
Yep, I agree. I see a lot of people make great looking bags and are very because you're not looking at it like, oh my God, you make it, you're like, oh man, you get to this point like, oh, this is really 99% of people never notice that ever. They'll see how beautiful your bag is in general, and you don't have that as an issue. That's probably if I get to sew a bag, that's probably gonna be, hopefully it'll be a simple pattern. We'll see.
I
when
will
we film it.
I will be designing a sling bag because I think I want to make one for Danny. And I haven't written the pattern yet, but I'm going to work on it this summer for sure.
Almost when I see this, if you make a longer one, this could be like a men's satchel, like crossbody. If you made it longer.
With the strap?
No, this hyacinth actually.
Oh, the whole bag?
Just the style of it,
You
yeah.
mean the whole bag?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You did like a masculine fabric or something.
Yeah.
Okay, one more. Maybe you can help with this person,
Okay.
Sarah.
Sarah says, my sewing machine pulls my fabric to the left. I don't see it happen to you, or you make it look so easy. I've only owned this one sewing machine, so is this normal? Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Pulling the fabric to the left. I usually eyeball a certain spot on my presser foot to line my fabric up, and there are also guides that you can buy for your sewing machine. Some of my feet have like a little metal edge on it so that it helps me line up the fabric. There's also magnetic guides that you can put on the bed of your sewing machine to help you line your fabric up against if you're using specific seam allowances. I'm not sure if that's what the issue is, but a magnetic seam guide is pretty inexpensive, maybe $10 or $12, and it'll just the magnet will just stick to the bed of your sewing machine in case that helps, and you can move it depending on if your seam allowances are changing. Sorry.
Well, we'd like to thank everyone for showing up this week, sticking with us, even with the Minnie Mouse voices and
thank
the
you.
poor start, but we had a strong finish, hopefully, and
Yep.
thank you for the birthday wishes, and we're going to see you guys next Tuesday.
Yep.
So
We'll see you next week, and we'll be posting the Court Club video sometime this week before June 1st, I'm sure.
Yep.
So look for that on the YouTube channel and on the website. And thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you again next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Time. Happy sewing.
bye-bye, guys.